So, great presentation from Franz. Just one thing to note is I'm sure a lot of you have, when you think about Netflix, you think about all Harvard Business School articles. So there's going to be a bunch of questions that come out. So if you have questions or if you'd like to have follow-on conversation, we're just going to say Helen will solve all of it and get you guys connected to Franz. But anyways, my name is Mukund Singh. I run the post-sales organization at Plutora. So I'm responsible for customer success, solutions, consultants, support, and professional services. So as I like to say, I'm the applied physics, not the theoretical physics. So anyway, I'm going to go through just a couple of slides more as a question and answer because I'm trying to just augment what Franz has already mentioned. So rather than go beyond the point of selling, anybody in sales, just don't go beyond the point of selling. He's already sold the point, so I'm just going to add a couple of points to augment what he's already said. So since this is the last section, I figured I would not start talking about value stream management because I'm sure everyone is alive and kicking and awake. But anyway, so let's get with this slide. All right. Question for everyone. What is the most prevalent big cat in the world? And I want to know why you thought what you thought. So I'm going to go to the next slide and see if that's how it works. Oh, God. Perfect. I got it.
Number one would come in. It takes a moment for it to come in.
All right.
I think it waits for 10 responses before it shows up.
Okay. 3 more, please. Just 3 more. All right. Well, while everybody goes in and puts in their answers, I guess a question like, what do you think? Which animal is it, or which big cat it is? Go ahead, Helen. All right. Leopard. Okay. How about anybody else on this side of the room? NTT.
I think lion, and there's a lot of different types of lions. Cougars, mountain lions.
Okay. All right.
Process of elimination. The other 4 I know have been on the endangered species list, whereas I've not really heard of
Yeah.
lions for some time being on the endangered list. It's been
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to take a guess? Okay. The correct answer is leopard. Okay. Anybody want to take a guess why leopard is the most prevalent big cat?
They're the most adapted to the greatest number of ecosystems.
There you go. I didn't pay him, by the way, just FYI. So yeah, it's not cheetah, it's not tiger, it's not lion, and I think by process of elimination, you can basically go through it. And I know most people in the U.S. probably think it's a jaguar, but no, it's not a jaguar. It is a leopard. Okay. Well, so, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Well. Okay. Well, it is leopard, and the reason is because of its ability to adapt. So just for people, it can live in wild, it can live on the outskirts of cities, it can live on trees, it can live in holes, it can eat anything you want. So again, tying it back to our concept of adapt, I figured that would be a good way to wake everyone up so that I don't go straight into more slides. Okay. All right. So just to follow up, I don't have a slide for it. What would be the most prevalent living thing on this planet? Living thing on this planet. Now, I know everybody who checked in yesterday probably thought human beings would be, based on the line downstairs to check in, but no, that's not. Anybody want to take a guess? Viruses, basically. But yeah, it's some articles will say it's ants, some will say it's viruses, so on and so forth. But anyway. Okay. All right, so I'll get into a couple of questions here. Okay, before you start answering this, let me just give a little bit of context for why the question, and then I'd love to hear as well. Is it still? All right, okay. So what percentage of projects in your organization go originally, or rather as planned originally? And the main context in this is for me, in my role, we go ahead and sell a VSM solution, and then it goes into an organization where then we have a value stream journey map where we are telling or working with customers to deploy certain things in phases, right? So you have a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But right from the get-go, we work with our customers to build a value journey map and a somewhat of an implementation plan, right? And that implementation plan, then as we go through the different phases, we'll go ahead and adjust it as needed. But just out of curiosity, for people who have been involved in the VSM journey as well as the vendors themselves, what percentage of projects do you think has gone exactly as you originally planned out? Because as we all have agreed, and I think everybody's presentation has shown that a value stream management journey is not going to be a one-week exercise where you come in, somebody comes in, here's this world hunger solving solution, and then a week later you're good, everything is good. Right? So 10%, 25%, 50, roughly, again, these are all roughly, right? So 10%, 25%, 50, 75, 100. I really would like to know who is 100%.
With 8% and 100%.
Wow. Okay.
With 56% under 10.
All right. I did this to our CSMs as well and the solutions consultant, and we came up around 25% as well. Where originally, when we start off with our implementation, the phase 1 generally will stick to the plan, but then as you get further away in terms of phase 2, phase 3, then that ratio starts to keep going down, and then essentially then we have to adapt, right, from there. Any thoughts on why as you go further away, the number starts to come down? Go ahead.
One thought, because my answer was 100%, because of course, come hell or high water, I'm going to need you to come in on Saturday, and yay, death march, which is why everything tweaks, but it's not as planned.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a lot about the expectation setting and
Okay.
the feedback.
Okay. How about over there?
A little bit outside the box, I always remind of finishing things with Murphy bats last. There's too many unknowns. So you can plan everything you want up front, but until you experiment and adapt, the further you get down the street, you learn more about it.
Yeah. How about over there?
We're all too optimistic when we plan.
See, you're not in post-sales, because if you're in post-sales, you would not be optimistic. It's like an old boss of mine used to say that, and I'm going to offend some marketeers and stuff, but marketeers are generally overly optimistic, right? People who are in IT are generally a little bit more skeptical, so yeah. No offense, Jeff, just in case you were confused.
I'm going to expand on what was said there. I'm surprised you haven't got a 0% figure on there. Because the only constant in the universe is change. So when you've originally planned something, you can guarantee something will change between the point you planned and the point you go plan.
So I actually thought of putting 0%, but I didn't want to come across as being overly negative. So I figured, let's be optimistic a little bit and say 10, 25, 50, hoping that the majority of the people will probably be on the bottom end of the scale. So, okay. All right, let's go to the next question. Before you go in on... God.
Oh, it just shows you the results when you go to the next slide.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
All right.
If enough have gone in, then you can go to the next slide.
All right.
Correct.
Okay, I want to hit the next slide. Okay, so again, just giving some context before you answer the question. Right? What parameters do you look at in your projects to adapt your VSM implementation roadmap? Right? And this is a multi-choice question, even though I know Slido is only allowing single selection.
It might be multi-choice.
Oh, is that allowing? Okay. So yeah, I'd love to hear from your perspective which of these options makes more sense to you in terms of reasonings why you'd be adapting your game plan as you go down the process.
It is multi-choice.
Oh, it's allowing you. Awesome.
If you skip ahead, you might get the 5 results.
Yeah.
There you go. Magic.
Oh. Interesting. Anybody disagree with what you're seeing on the rating? No? Okay. So from my perspective, we have a similar sort of, if you were to think about the reasons why some things would go slower, faster, it would be those top two that you're seeing are essentially what is our experience as well, right? And that's where I think it was the DT presentation where you had talked about people and culture, right? The easiest way for as a consultant as well is to talk about data and look at the bad data, look at et cetera, et cetera. But the people and culture are the ones which I found to be the most problematic ones in some area. When I say problematic, it's not in a negative way. It's like you adapt to it, right? So once you implement a phase one, you get to know more about how the company is working, the people that you're going to be working with, so you can adjust. And so it's not a negative. It just means what you may think as priority 2 may become priority 1, or priority 3 may become priority 2, that kind of stuff. So, any question?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I would put organizational priorities at the very top,
Mm-hmm.
and then people culture underneath. We talked a lot about OKRs.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not that I'm not a people person, because I'm a totally people person.
Yeah, ask your neighbors, yeah.
However, like we're working for and on behalf of the remit of the
Mm-hmm.
organization, the outcomes that they need. And then the question is, why aren't the people, the culture, supporting that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Somebody's listening.
Oh, listening to you.
well, that's
There you go.
okay. Thanks, man. Just kidding. So that's kind of how I would look at it.
Yeah.
And then if the culture and the org are out of step with
Mm-hmm.
then I can reconcile that.
Yeah.
And then tools would be last because that should support what we
Yeah,
figured out.
for sure. I think the bigger thing for me was like we didn't come out where one was 0 or 15 or 10%, right? I think generally it'll come up, all four should generally be in the same sort of number, right? But yeah, that's fair. Okay. Anybody have anything else on this? Okay. All right. It's quite interesting actually when you look at when we went through BSM and I talked to all our solutions consultants, the easiest thing and the first thing that always comes out is the executive and it's the data. Those are the two standard answers that you can easily get, right? But the reality is when you dig in a little bit lower, an old boss of mine used to say, right, no developer comes in to write bad code. It's just not how people work, right? So no executive also comes in to say, you know what, I'm going to tell why Steve's idea is bad because he's texting right now. So, but that's okay.
We're talking about speaker gifts.
I'm just kidding. But anyway. All right, okay. Okay, let's go to the next one, next slide. So, like I said, I'm now going to go and sell beyond the point of selling, but this is just a couple of sort of summary points based on Franz's presentation as well as our experience as well. The first one is when you think about adapt, it is really important that you actually set the expectation that you're going to be adapting as you go through the journey. Now, don't emphasize all about adapt because that doesn't show confidence. That implies that you don't really know, you're just going to fly by and just make stuff happen as you go along. But acknowledging that there is an element of adapt that will be happening as you go through the phases, that's more important. Again, going back, I'm huge on plagiarizing from people that you respect and love. And one of my old bosses used to say, we reserve the right to get smarter. So I always tell our team that we reserve the right to get smarter. That's one. Number two, simplicity, sophistication. So please, don't throw in a bunch of buzzwords that may be cool for, if you're going to put it on your LinkedIn profile. But when you're talking to customers, let's at least be simplifying into their language, because that's one of the takeaways for us as an organization as well. Let's speak, we can understand all the concepts of VSM, SAFe, so on and so forth, but we have to still speak the language that the organization understands, because at the end of the day, for what we are like a river. We have to meet the ocean. So we got to go somewhere up, down, left, right, but at the end of the day, we are going to reach the ocean, but we can't get too stuck on this is the only way to get to the ocean. No, there are multiple ways. As long as you're getting to the ocean, you're making progress, then you're okay. All right, and then adapt. I think when you think about adapt phase, it's not necessarily just for a VSM implementation roadmap. it's going to be applicable to pretty much anything. If you're talking about agile, if you're talking about project management, DevOps, that phase or the idea of adapt was going to be relevant no matter what. And then the last thing which Franz mentioned is it is a journey. It is a journey. So we start off with phases, right? Use some of the project management philosophy for those of us who are in project management or PM certified. It's a journey. So it's a cycle. You have a vision based on the data that you know right now. You set the vision, you proceed. When you reach this first milestone, then you can go, okay, what's the next and what do we need to adapt and change and modify as we go forward. Okay? That's all I had. Any questions? Good.
I wanted to revisit your third poll about people and culture being the area to focus for ADAPT. I understand it's academically, theoretically the right answer, but it is a realistic answer. Adapting people and culture is the hardest thing to change. And when you're looking at your value stream outcomes, I can't imagine anybody looking at the outcomes and saying, right, now, where are we going to focus? Let's go and change our people and culture. I think it will, in reality, be the last thing that people look at.
Yeah, so I think maybe I didn't provide a better context on people and culture. I'm not thinking on that terms. I'm thinking, so think about the context for my end, right? We have a project, we have a company that has bought a value stream management platform. We have agreed, we have sort of talked early on what a value stream management journey is going to look like. What are we going to do in phase 1? What are we going to do in phase 2, phase 3? Then based on the people and culture, I'm not worrying, if I'm trying to change people and culture in my role, that's a lost cause. I'm actually thinking I want to understand what the people and culture is, and then based on that, adjust something that I may have decided to do on phase 3 of my journey, maybe I pull it in because that's important. Because right now, based on what the culture is. So if you have an organization where the head, and I'm just using head as a leadership, right? If the head is coming from an engineering background or a QA background and he is putting that culture through, then for me, I'm going, okay, based on that, maybe something else needs to, in my original plan, I had maybe getting, let's say, defects data into phase 3, into my value stream management journey. Maybe based on this, maybe I should make it to phase 2. So that's what I mean. I'm not talking about changing people or culture, because then that gets into, solving world hunger and, politicians, I'm going to remove poverty and all of that good stuff. So no, that's not what I was talking about.